Hey, everybody, look, we just want to jump straight live, and I'm listening to all of these folks here talk about carbonara and talk about proper tea and talk about what they're doing. But, you know, it's so hard to get any sort of direction with these folks. But that is what makes this so joyfully chaotic. Welcome to Boss Rush on this Friday. My name's Chris Melasinos. I'm the principal evangelist for video games here at AWS. And with me is... Come on. We've been doing this now for a year and a half. Mr. Takahashi, let's go.
I have to be last. So.
We got you, Dean.
Go ahead, Dean. It's all you.
Hey, Dean Takahashi. I'm the editorial director at GameSpeed and help run the GameSpeed events. Got our next one coming up in November.
That's right. Good to see you, Dean, and Mr. Delora.
Awesome. Well, hello. It's Mark Delora. I am the newly minted Executive Director of Innovation and Growth at Game Developers Conference and ongoingly Games and Learning focused person. Thank you.
And joining us as our special guest today, please introduce yourself, special guest.
Good morning to you, Chris. Being such a fan of Boss Rush, I had to fly to England and be in England to make sure that I could take Susan's place, even though I'm not in her house. That she wouldn't allow. My name is Richard Browne. I'm a consultant and agent and person who runs a company called Blue Moon Production Company, but I've been in the games business for 37 years, and most importantly, I'm a subscriber to GameSpeed Max.
Oh, yes.
And I had the great pleasure of working with Mr. Browne in multiple contexts at the same company for a while, on working on games he was working on, helping him out at platform companies for a while. And
he did.
Well,
for many years.
Well, you know, speaking of special games and working on all that stuff, I've got a little treat here for us this morning. Here we go. Please stand by here as we fire this up. Oh my goodness, this is an FM Town Super Technology demo from 1993. What?
That's amazing.
I wonder what this could possibly be. Oh, wait a minute.
You weren't even born in 93, right, Chris?
Oh, look at you. How kind, how kind. Wait a minute.
Look at this. Look
this...
at that extrusion. That was a soft image extrusion right there.
Oh, wow.
Is this, is this Scavenger 4?
Oh, look at that.
This is the very original.
That's awesome.
There's a good story behind this. This was the very original demo I did in the weeks after we finished Microcosm for Scavenger 4 or Nova Storm, as it became on other platforms, where I basically locked myself in an office because we'd given the entire Microcosm team 3 weeks off because we'd been crunching for hell. But I came back into the office because I was a very lonely single man and spent about 3 weeks putting this together on, I think, 8 SGIs, rendering in tandem. Because Fujitsu said they wanted a game like our PlanetSide demo. And so there's lots of, that's all taken, the characters are all taken from Microcosm. The buildings are beautifully constructed polygons with a texture on it, and then the planets and stuff I put together, and then there's a fantastic spaceship, the cigar spaceship with no wings, because I couldn't build wings. And Jim Bowers, who built the model of the plane, had gone away and hadn't finished it. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just use it as is.
That's why it works in space and not in an atmosphere, right?
Well, it goes into an atmosphere. That's kind of where it becomes problematic, which is not surprising why it gets shut down so easily. But
let's jump ahead there. Here we go. Here is the actual gameplay footage. Oh, look at that. Was so great.
Nova Storm actually turned out, especially some of the later versions, to be quite a nice little game. It was, Microcosm was definitely problematic from a gameplay standpoint. It wasn't a great deal of fun, but we did so much work kind of just trying to figure out how to run, this is running off a single speed 150K CD drive. So, we're rendering full motion video and then putting sprites and rendering a Z buffer into every frame so that you could actually have things go behind things and all that sort of stuff.
I'm going like, what is all that stuff?
Pioneering for its time.
I love it.
Pioneering.
It absolutely is.
Yeah, and then this is definitely from later stuff because that's Alias Wavefront stuff. So I was a soft homage person. I loved soft homage, and then Paul Franklin, who is now a multi-Oscar winner for doing all of Christopher Nolan's special effects at Double Negative. He was the lead artist on Scavenger 4, and was the guy given the opportunity to take Psygnosis across from soft homage to Alias Wavefront because they've been tempting us with low prices for a long time, and we finally gave in to them, and there was almost like a factional split within Psygnosis of like the soft homage people and the Alias Wavefront people.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, never the two should lunch together.
Well, I figured I would go ahead and bring that up because that's where I, back in the autumn of last year, Richard had done a post on LinkedIn and had mentioned, fond memories of Psygnosis and everything else. And I happened to be sitting at home playing on a 3DO emulator because I had my 3DO stuff packed away. And I was like, oh, let me grab a screen grab of his credit right there and sent it over to him. And it was like, yes, you're actually doing it. Yeah, we also know that video on LinkedIn decided to crater, but of course YouTube is running just fine. So I went ahead and restarted on LinkedIn, and now people should be able to go ahead and continue looking. But anyway, yes, Richard.
This is the problem I have because the link is always on LinkedIn, and I click on it on LinkedIn when I'm on my treadmill, and then it always
craters?
goes away at some point. Yeah.
Does it really?
Often, yeah.
Yeah, well, I cannot account for them. Perhaps they want to host some stuff on AWS. Be happy to go ahead and host it so it works. But anyway,
you do have the best algorithm ever. Apparently, if you just put a Boss Rush post and share it, and then say I will not say anything controversial 5 times, it gets more views on LinkedIn than any other post I've ever done.
It does. That's very good. Well, since we are talking about games industry news for the week, why don't we go ahead and jump in with Mr. Takahashi. Dean, what do you have for us here, buddy?
Let me think about that a bit more. We're starting to see lots of direct-to-consumer stores that are appearing all over the place. Sketch Store debuted this week.
Yep.
They cited the epic court victories on antitrust against Google and Apple as the way that this road for them got paved. There's plenty of others that are joining in, and I've written about each one along the way. So everybody is finding ways. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had a epic, pretty much won their antitrust case in Australia as well. And I think they had wins in the U.S. They have regulations that have helped them in Europe. They got Australia. They have things going in Japan and South Korea as well. So so far, while at first it looked like it was all going against them, now it's actually starting to all work in their favor. So I think for game companies, it's significant because now you can advertise that you have lower prices on your web shop, and you can drive people there from inside the app in the app stores. So this was never possible before until these legal rulings gave clarity to the picture.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
So
I'm actually fascinated to see how this plays out because I think,
and the interesting.
There's a lot of core users who I think will do it, and I think there's a lot of casual users who are quite happy to stay within their ecosystem.
Yeah, and one more interesting
30% is great.
One more interesting thing was that Strauss-Zelnick is now talking about this on conference calls during the quarterly reports of Take-Two, and he's he's not someone who would go and rattle the cages against Google and Apple, right? He still notes that he's partnering with them, but he does see this as a very big opportunity for Zynga.
I think he's right, but I think it will be limited. I don't think everybody will just go, hey, I'm just going to jump over, because people like their security and their ease of use. I mean, at the end of the day, you can just double tap your Face ID and you bought your whatever you were going to buy. So
Yeah, truth. Yeah.
it's always easiest.
Yeah.
But
There are
it's
quite a few money things that happened this week. So on the money raising startup front, AppCharge raised $58 million for another direct to consumer platform. And then Neon Machine raised $19.5 million for Shrapnel. Which is a Web3 shooter game, which we all thought was dead, and it's back from the dead, and it says it's going to have a 2026 launch now.
That was a really interesting story, actually, dude. Because I mean, clearly they're aiming it at China, right? That's what they think they can get into. I have no idea about Web3 in China. I mean, as you say, I think from a game standpoint, they did the demo and it was not good. And and that's the problem. At the end of the day, Web3 or not Web3, it's got to live up to, in China, Delta Force and Crossfire and all the stuff that are massively, massively popular over there. Otherwise, it's not going to take off, regardless of what the payment and ownership thing is. So, I hope it's better. I mean, I had a friend. I actually had a friend who worked there for a little while.
And the reason
they have good intentions, but it's just it's hard to build a competitive shooter.
Yeah, they had a crew of veteran people in shooters that were led by Mark Long, and he started the company. He was the CEO, and then he got into a big fight with his investors, and in the subsequent lawsuit that happened there, then he left the company, and he's running Unio now, another company.
And this is Gala.
Neon Machine, and Neon Machine came back, right? Yeah.
And it's basically Gala backed, or mostly
Gala, and let's see, Griffin Gaming Partners and Polychain Capital as well. So they're all.
I thought Gala had disappeared as well.
Gala, I think, is in a different situation where it raised tons and tons of money through its token, right? And it funded tons and tons of games, but then realized at some point that it had funded too many, and it started pulling back. I think that made people think, "Oh, Gala's done for," right? But when you've raised as much money as they have, I think at some point.
You have a nice long runway.
Yeah, more than $1 billion.
The question is if you ever pivot off it, because I mean they backed a game. That we were looking at when I was at DE, and I really liked the game, but I was just like, it just wasn't there, and we were looking at the competitive field of multiplayer gaming and how bad it was getting, and we're like, probably not. And they, literally the last person they could go to was Scala, because they didn't want to do a Web3 game. And it came out.
It is good to see them using that money now to make more things happen. But they look like almost like one of those companies that does well with the tokens and then just becomes something like a portfolio manager managing cash, and not making so much use of it. There's a fair amount of those sort of Walking Dead Web3 game companies out there that are like that.
Walking Dead is in the property, or Walking Dead is in the company?
Not the property.
There you go. Okay, just clarifying for those that may be joining a little bit late. We did have a question that came in off the chat there. Richard, is there no way to escape the convenience gravity well of the built-in app stores? What would it take?
Oh, I think that's the problem that's facing everybody.
Right.
I mean, it's very, very difficult. Even if you've got advertising, and even if you do, to Dean's point, you say, hey, it's much cheaper over here. I think a lot of people are doing it through the web.
Yeah.
First and foremost, and sort of making it a different option. So, if I'm on my website and playing games through the web and all the rest of it, that's the other way to go. But I think with a casual audience, which, if you look at Zynga and you look at, King and all these people, the vast amount of their players are very casual. Supercell, I think, have a more core audience,
Right.
and obviously Call of Duty Online and games like that, I think, have more core audiences who are more than willing to go, hey, I'm going to go over there and buy it elsewhere.
Yeah.
But I think it's hard to beat convenience, even if it's a one-time setup thing.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And my response in there was developers need to embrace them, right? I mean, now go use them. Like that's what's going to break it. And as soon as you start to get some viral pops that happen in there, it's going to start to drive more attention to them. It's going to create more optionality for people. And we talk about the convenience of the App Store. Yeah, it may be convenient to publish there, but is anyone going to find your stuff?
Well, there's that, but I mean that's a different issue, right? I mean that's the greatest thing is just to make an offer that's so fantastic.
Yeah,
right? You can have your first 1,000 tokens free if you just go over here and register.
Well, I will tell you, when we eventually do a 5 whiskey in boss rush, then Mark and I will talk about the frustration of that as well. But that's for another time when we don't have any recording equipment going. All right. Richard, any big news that's popped across your brain pan this week?
I actually think the most interesting discussion that's gone on this week is this whole Call of Duty versus Battlefield thing. Because I'm of the opinion, personally, that one of the great things of working with Digital Extremes for many years was that they're very uplifting of the whole market. When Warframe was doing well and Anthem came out, they were like, "Hey, this is fantastic. We all live together, right?" I don't, and it's not either party taking pot shots. It's actually third parties taking pot shots. But I actually think the Battlefield and Call of Duty can coexist extremely well. Because to me, one is a we game and one is a me game. And so if I want to go in there and play competitive multiplayer and just for my own gratification, then I'll probably play more Call of Duty. If I want to go and play a team game with my friends, I'll probably go and play Battlefield. And I think, Delta Force and a few other squad-based games have shown that you can have a military shooter that exists outside of Call of Duty, and it doesn't necessarily take away from Call of Duty. It can just add. I mean, player time is obviously the hardest thing in the world to try and grab these days, but I think they can coexist, and I hope they're both really successful. We need wins. Yeah, and I think for EA, it's such a massive, massive thing. I mean, it has to work.
Yeah,
I mean, everything else has not been working that well outside of sports, which has always been their lovely baseline that they always had.
There's
no big win in Battlefield,
no category that I focus on more than this particular one, and it is very interesting. I think in terms of just features and types of gameplay go across all of it, they are heading in the same direction head to head for whatever works with players, right? And so Call of Duty, co-opted Battle Royale, brought it in, and Warzone is now a really big thing with them. And now, EA with Battlefield 6 says that they're bringing in Battle Royale at some point as well. But yeah, there are big distinctions, like the amount of destruction that's possible in Battlefield 6 is pretty astounding, and a lot of people are just going to play it just to try that out and see what happens when they shoot a rocket at a building, right? And I think you're right about that sort of we versus me, like the core of Call of Duty, like they do a pretty good job with their single player campaigns. They bring the characters over, across over time, across many games, and so it's one long story. Zombies actually has a pretty good storyline as well that goes from one game to the next, and I think so. The me part that is pretty good, like the single player part. But also where you're the big hero and you're getting big wins, you're doing great plays and things like that. It is a lot about you, even though they have all kinds of multiplayer. Whereas Battlefield is like, is your team going to win this thing? And what can you do to help make that happen? Like, you can be a medic and you can revive, 20 people in the game, and you could turn the tide because you did that, right?
I
so
might
think
finally
that-
be useful in the shooter because I'm crap at the shooting. So I can actually just run around saving people.
Same.
Yeah.
But no, it's interesting that when you're talking about, people wanting to go in and muck about with the environments and see what can be, destroyed and how you did it, right? Then I think back to like Red Faction back in the day of, you can blow a hole through that wall and not have to actually go ahead and traverse the environment, which just opened up this great optionality. Then, of course, Crackdown, right, was trying to do this. Remember, they were trying to do server-side stuff, and then it's like, no, I don't need the precision of those physics. I need the immediacy of them. So we're going to go ahead and kind of, push back down to the lowest common denominator. But the fidelity of Battlefield 6 is what really strikes me. It is just, like we were saying last week, it just feels different, right? It feels like a different Battlefield than we've played before. So, really excited about it.
Yeah, their physics is only second to baby steps, frankly.
Yeah.
And you see baby steps, right, Chris?
Yes. Yeah. I don't even know if I have a baby steps.
I don't think it's out yet. I'm very excited by baby steps.
Oh,
well, it's Shu's greatest thing.
Baby steps. All I can think of is Baby Shark in my head. You have that
why did you do that? Why did you do that?
Where did you learn to fly?
I totally derailed the conversation. I do that.
You sure did. Exactly.
Oh, nerds.
That's right. Oh, nerds. Okay. Mark, how about you, buddy?
Hi. How about you?
No, not how are you. I know how you're doing. And I love you, buddy. Tell me, how about you?
Yeah, well, did you see Rod Ferguson is leaving Blizzard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mind.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been there a long
Well,
time.
we could have a wager. Let's have a wager. Is he going to save A, Bioshock, B, Ethos, or C, is he going on vacation?
He goes on vacation first.
Yeah.
Why not
But
all
after
of those things?
After 6 months, he gets sick of vacation, and
Yeah.
and
Bugs
that's
back
it.
in. Yeah, that's probably the right answer. Or I hope it is.
I'm not sure Take-Two can wait another 6 months. Well, I mean, they can because they got loads of
You
money.
mean for Judas or for
no, for
actual
Ethos.
Bioshock?
Ethos and Bioshock.
Mhm.
So Project Ethos has now been, they kind of soft launched a little beta in September, October, and it did nothing and nobody liked it. And that went back to work and Michael Condrey left. So that one's kind of in development hell. But Strauss, I think on the call the other, that say on the other,
Yeah, it's still on there.
They'd say it's still on their
TBD.
release schedule. So,
Yeah.
but it's one of those ones where it's like there's a few sitting out there at the minute where you're like, it's going to be pretty brave to try and bring that to market with the competitive. I mean, Wildgate, I'm a big fan of Mike and the team down there, but it's done nothing. It's so hard to get into that space right now. And then Battlefield just made things even more complicated, even if it's not 1-to-1, it's still an online shooter. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
but Bioshock, everybody wants Bioshock.
Yeah.
The greatest game.
Yeah.
I want a good Bioshock. I don't want to buy a Bioshock. I want a good Bioshock.
There you go. Right. Well, we should all expect not just another, episode of content we love, but a good next episode of content we love.
And that's one thing they do with Bioshock. I mean, it doesn't exactly have a consistent release schedule. It's like it suddenly surprises you, right? It's like 10 years later, Bioshock 2, or you're like, oh, I get another Bioshock. I didn't expect that. Awesome.
Say who in the what now? Yeah, exactly.
That's
Exactly
great.
right.
I have another interesting piece of news with this Plan A Games. Fellow named Mark Rosenfeld is behind it, and he's got a big private equity company backing it as well, Fortress Investment Group, which has $50 billion in assets, and they were interested in going into gaming. And what they've done is set up a user acquisition fund. To help mobile game companies figure out, how to target users and and get them to come into games, spend money, etc. And this has been something that has been done through folks like Tilting Point, but they often have an alliance with a traditional bank. And when you think about like how quickly you need to get user acquisition money into a new company as its sort of star is rising. I think I would bet that the private equity people could do this faster than a traditional bank, right? And so, like, traditional bank's going to go look at this, okay, fill out this 30-page application, and we'll get back to you, and we'll see, whereas the private equity folks, they realize I think maybe that speed in getting money to a game that is on the rise and needs a push. In order to, like, time is of the essence when you're
the window is very short.
Mm-hmm.
It's very short.
So they're gonna make a lot of money available to game companies for this purpose.
Well, this is a hard one to track down the news on. Do you have a hot tip on where somebody could find the article if they want to learn more?
Yeah, on GameSpeed.
Yeah, that's where I searched.
Oh,
I'll find it.
It's called Plan A Games.
That's what you find if you search
so
Plan A.
mysterious.
Read it on the 13th. Google will probably
13th.
put us somewhere around 10 results down.
I got nothing.
If you
I
give
got Plan
the exact
B.
title of the game, the story. I think.
Maybe we can post it onto the
Yeah,
thread
we
on YouTube.
Definitely need
afterwards.
to see that.
I'm drawing blanks here.
Let me see.
I mean, it's always an interesting problem, but I just,
Mhm.
I wish we'd have more people coming and putting money into actually building
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah.
Rather than that,
Yeah.
but it's
I mean,
where
there
the money
is
is,
a
right? If
lot
they
of-
can make it work, there's there's so few places for VCs. I mean, we've seen them all during COVID put money into actual game content creation. All of them failed because they were trying to build
And
games
this
with
is-
teams that
this
had
is
never built
primarily-
games before.
Yeah, this is for the game companies that don't want to give away equity, right? And so they'd rather have more like a loan to pay off, really.
Right.
I
Exactly.
suppose. Yeah. So
Yeah, there we go.
so yeah, it's just a different
Thank
source of money. I think that is essential for the industry. Right? I think.
My old friend Gary Rosenfeld.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You were at THQ with Gary, right, Mark? Was Gary still
Show me a
alive?
picture.
There
he
picture's
is.
familiar. Yep. Okay. Yeah.
He's a lovely guy. He ran. He was doing Louisiana's game development stuff for a long time, trying to tempt people into Louisiana, and quite successfully. So trying to get game studios set up in New Orleans and stuff. It was. He's a top guy. Did all our licensing on UFC and all that sort of stuff.
So
Yeah.
what you're saying is we have top men working on it. Top
We
men.
did. We have a very nice, very lovely top man working on it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was an Indiana Jones reference for those of you that are playing along at home. Top men. Yes, there we go. Yeah, it is.
There's
I mean, you think about the pressure that some of these models have come under in recent years. We're starting to see the same type of pressure around live ops, types of games, right? So trying to figure out where that free-to-play space goes. Is it because of consumer fatigue? Is it because of so much content in the free-to-play space? Is it a discoverability problem? Is it the fallacy of choice problem? Like, what's driving the need for something like this, right? To provide more focus on how to do free-to-play mobile in a way that can bring new entrants into market and actually scale that stuff, right? It's a complicated problem. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think Scopely showed how you do it, right? With Monopoly, it's like you get a game and you refine it, you spend an awful lot of money doing it, and then you put $250 million to make sure it gets to the top of the charts, and then it stays there.
Yeah. This is
that's
something.
kind of where you go.
Well, this is something we know that you're pretty passionate about, Richard, right? Is sustainable game development going forward, right? In this morass of changing valuation and money coming in. I do love, Shu Yoshida saying it was stupid money that came in, right, to this space was his actual quote. And it was just that people don't know where to go and put it. We saw the pop and rise of so many people playing. Well, of course it's going to last forever. Yes, we should be pushed that. It's like, no, that's not how these things work, right?
No. Well, and it was also, I don't want to, you put that sort of money behind talented people, but at the end of the day, as I always say, you're not a studio until you shipped a game. And so they gave, $7,500 million to people who just worked on the game for 5, 6, 7 years. And from being in publishing for many, many years, I kind of can see where the market's going to be in 2 or 3 years. In 5, 6, 7, 8 years, forget it.
Yeah,
I mean, this is what happened to Concord. It's what happened to so many games over the last couple of years, is that by the time they came out, there was no space for them anymore. And, if you gave me $100 million, I ship a game for $5 million, and I get my team in a habit of shipping a game. And so, you don't actually even have to publish it. Just get it to the point where you can ship it. And learn all the foibles of the team.
Yeah, it was interesting.
And what works and what doesn't work.
Interesting
because,
to see.
Just keep going on and on and on and on. And it's going to be great. It's going to be my magnum opus the first time out with the studio. It's very rare.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting to see how probably Monsters kind of dodged a bullet. Selling the Firewalk Studios that was making Concord off to Sony. And then Sony took the big hit of when Concord failed. But then probably Monsters, which had raised $250 million in the heyday, pivoted into making a couple of smaller games that they just announced that they're expecting to have, worked on with teams of 50 people or less and get to the market in 18 months. And so they've gone into this double A direction as opposed to first time out of the gate at AAA, right?
And they've still got 200 people. I mean, I think they're smart to change direction, but as you say, it's 8 years. They had $250 million, and they got obviously a nice refill from Sony at some point. I'm not sure how big that was, but it was sizable. And they've definitely gone the right way. Jim Viva, who's running one of the teams up there, is a great guy. Known him for donkey's ears from Microsoft days.
We got Mark Sabatnik over there as well, right? Just brilliant guy. But they're doing exactly the right thing. We have been talking about this very thing here for the past year and a half, and then even before that, just in conversation. The sweet spot for this stuff is going to be those 8 to 15-hour games that are missing right now in the overall space, right? AAA, long term and live ops games, and then you've got massive amount of indie content out there driving the least amount of revenue, the smaller subset driving the most amount of revenue, and the middle kind of disappeared. Moving back and having that AAA experience, sensibility, everything else, but bringing it to these smaller encapsulated experiences where you can generate more over time and have that self-sustaining flywheel start to kick in. That's the model. So it's great to see them leaning into it.
It has to be a plan. I mean, this is I think I did this post the other week about, start with the sand, right? You beachhead an IP. You do a game for less than $20 million and see if people like it.
Right.
So they like what it is, and then do they want more of it? And then you do the sequel, which is kind of like the foundation, the cement. You cement the success of that project with the sequel, and usually the second one is always the best one, right? But people want more. You can make it bigger, so you take all the money from the first one, you invest it in the second one, and that gets bigger, and then the third one is the skyscraper growth. And this is how we built studios all the time back in the early days.
Hey, Terminator 2,
Naughty Dog, and Insomniac, and all these sorts of people. They started with Crash and Spyro. I mean, they did a game before that, but got good by ship that game, do it again, do it again, do it again. And the ones I always bring up these days are CD Projekt, right? They did Witcher 1, then they did Witcher 2, then Witcher 3 was the huge hit,
right? And
they just reinvested everything in. And they had a team that was just getting better and better and better at what they do. You look at Larry, and they did Original Sin 1, they did Original Sin 2, and then they did Baldur's Gate. Different IP, but basically the same game.
The process the same, too. Yeah. And to your point, Terminator 2,
again,
better than Terminator 1. Empire, better than A New Hope. So,
Then there was Cyberpunk 2077, and the sequel to that was Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, listen to Dean bringing that heat right there.
For a hot second, I thought you were going to say 2078, and I missed it.
Cyberpunk did really well because they were built on the reputation of Witcher.
Right.
So everybody bought it because they knew that. And so, doing this 3-step building thing, but the problem you have when you go out and try and find funding, which is why it's so exciting that people like Lyrical Games are coming out and probably Monsters are coming out and starting to build this kind of thing. I always thought the private division was something that could have worked really well if the H game under Private Division had been actually a test bed for what would become the next AAA franchise for Take-Two. And they've done, game, and then became a Take-Two game kind of thing, or a Take-Two studio. But if you talk to most of the major publishers, they're not interested in this, because if you're saying, well, the $1 billion game is going to be game 3, and that's going to be in 10 years' time, most of the people in the C-suite are like, yeah, but I'm selling my shares in like 4 years' time and retiring. So I don't give a shit about 10 years' time. I want to know what. So here, $250 million, go and ship a game in 4 years, and then I can make lots of money in retirement.
Man, Richard, it's almost as if we planned this, but we didn't. Somebody had posted this up and said, has anyone seen Gaben's view, right, on VCs and pitching to VCs right now? And this, of course, it's a blanket statement, right? That's not the case, right, across the board. But
you should.
Gabe
is saying you should give him the money instead.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so he does happen to own the largest platform for PC distribution. But I think the important thing is the money that you need to survive and continue to build. Understand where it's coming from. Understand what it costs to actually get the money. That's it, right? Yeah. Right? And there's all sorts of models that fit everybody's offer.
Much as we love Gabe and we love Valve and we love everything they've done for this industry, and I mean that sincerely, he's investing in boat building, not in games.
There we go.
Give us your money. Give me your money, Gabe. Don't give it to a boat building because you want a bloody yacht.
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry that I opened that can of worms. Let's go ahead.
He's probably got a good bunker out there somewhere too, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh, well, listen, Richard just joined in, and now it's
very clever.
Oh, very clever. Yes, very clever indeed. By the way, those are all Cybermorph. But Dean, real quick, those are all Cybermorph clips that I happen to get from some of the creators of the game.
Where did you learn to fly?
Right, so we're going to play those as we go. Dean, all right, what do you got?
So Astrobeam, they revealed Stellar Cafe, a VR game that's powered by real-time AI voice conversations. And so when, Gen AI appeared a few years ago, a lot of these interactions were slow, and they took too many milliseconds to really make it possible to do real-time voice conversations. But now, fast forward to now, and Astrobeam, which is run by Devin Reimer, who was the co-founder of Alchemy Labs, which is now owned by Google. He started his own company a couple years back to focus on trying to make voice conversations between a player and AI really happen in real time. And so they're going to be launching this game soon here. And it's called Stellar Quest. And you go in, it's like a comedy. It's like, so they're the makers of Vacation Simulator and Job Simulator, right? And so this it's a comedic setting, but you go in, you basically talk to these robots who are running this cafe, and then you have conversations with them and try to accomplish things like get every robot to consent to show up for a party that one of the robots is throwing. So it could be fun, right? And it could be interesting, but yeah, there aren't many games like this out on the market right now. I think this could be the first, I think. So
yeah,
very interesting.
Well, I mean, speaking of that, Microsoft just debuted the gaming co-pilot beta on Game Bar for Windows PC for Xbox Insiders. Right. So it is.
What's that got to do with AI?
It's not AI. It is voice.
Where is it?
It is voice. It is voice control.
I was actually really interested in hearing Mark talk.
We are going to talk about that. Richard, we are going to talk about that, but this is the way it goes here. So, captain of the ship. All right, Mark, AI and talking to AI and playing.
Sorry, now I'm distracted. Is this thing working? I just hit the gaming Copilot button on my machine, and the gaming Copilot beta came up, and I'm like, wait, what's that? I guess it installed it while I wasn't paying attention.
I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you, Richard, that we have a cat in the room, and I turned a laser pointer on, so my apologies.
Yeah, that's for sure this week. I went hunting for this, and I found Stellar Cafe on MetaQuest wish list entry here for fall this year for the game we're talking about. That sounds pretty exciting. I mean, I'm a little curious about. I've been unplugged a little bit past couple of weeks, and I'll tell you more about why that is in a bit. But I heard ChatGPT 5 launched, and when I looked at the headlines, all I saw was the word fiasco. So I'll look forward to learning more about that. This, great. If let's take a shot at a game that's voice driven. That sounds awesome. Lots of interesting constraints and problems jump up immediately. So
yes,
see how they address them.
Richard,
What were you gonna say, Richard?
Yeah, I think it's actually, of all the things I've seen suggested, because people talk about NPCs and RPGs and all the rest of it, but half of playing an RPG is actually sometimes having conversations with people about what happened at that point, and it's like, well, that didn't happen to me, is maybe more interesting, but probably not at the same time. Whereas this, a sort of comedy kind of chat room kind of thing, I actually think is really something that could be very entertaining.
Yeah.
And obviously everybody will
Did you
swear
guys-
at it an awful lot.
Oh,
Did you
yes.
guys do the in-world demo? Did you try the in-world demo a while back? I forgot what it was.
Yeah.
Called. So that was interesting, right?
Yeah, I tried that a while back. They did announce that they're powering different consumer apps now, so that it's almost like
right.
they're moving beyond gaming, and so it's not clear to me how well everything has worked out in terms of really smart AI-based NPCs, and
So you
perhaps a
car
lot of
salesman.
companies. Yeah, perhaps a lot of companies are actually creating their own as opposed to going out and using another outside AI vendor, right? So, so we'll see where that goes or how that goes. There's been a lot of interesting demos. NVIDIA had the ramen shop demo as well, where you could have a conversation with the owner of a ramen shop.
Do you realize the amount of stress this is going to cause completionists, right? Like, you could spend 4 hours in the damn ramen shop, right? It is the problem. And I think one of the worst hangover or spillovers from all this stuff is, have any of you been through a drive-through recently and had to converse with an AI?
No.
It is horrifically and laughably just terrible.
Oh no!
A drive-through?
Yes. So companies are literally taking service work out of the hands of people and trying to replace them with AI that tries to take your order, and it's just there's a bunch of videos too, and people are just constantly tearing through it. It's just
also it's for any customer support thing now, you just get stuck in an endless loop trying to reach a human now, right? The AI just keeps sort of answering, and like you say, I want to talk to a real person, and then the AI
I
will
am
say
a real
something like,
person.
I'm starting to detect that you're upset.
That's what I do too.
So
Richard.
in the earlier ones, when you'd get them and you'd hear like that kind of stunted kind of voice, I remember just very clearly saying, "Are you a robot?" And it would pause and go, no. What do you mean? Am I a robot? I'm like, yes. Okay, now I got you. And then you start recording those conversations. Those are great.
But then I'm just going to swear at it a lot again.
Yeah, of course, and that's going to feed. That's going to feed.
Not a human being, right?
That's going to feed the model.
Get me my Big Mac.
If it gets to know you even better, like for me, it's like, is that what you meant to order? Or did you mean to order a salad? And I'm like, okay, now you're insulting
been
me.
in touch, and he told us.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. According to your insurance company, your cholesterol
Big Mac has 19 million calories, and this salad only has 10.
Yeah.
Because on my camera, you look a bit pudgy.
Isn't GDC coming up? Do you really want to eat this before you see all your friends? I'm like,
I love this.
We have,
terrible. All right, Dean, I'm sorry.
Another fun story on the innovation and AI front came from Hidden Door, which is a company started by Hillary Mason, and they are going out and cutting license deals with different folks out there. Like the one they started with, which they don't need a license for because the copyrights are all expired, is Pride and Prejudice, right? And so they're exposing this IP to users to create their own stories because fans can sort of never get enough of this stuff. But they also cut a deal with Ramez Nam, who's a great science fiction writer.
That's awesome.
He wrote the Nexus series of books, and The Crow as well. And so what they're doing is they're letting people say, start creating stories, and they could use basically the AI, the LLM, to help them, with the either the beginning or along the way. And you just put in a small prompt in to get the story started. And then you collect these cards along the way that give you information about characters and things like that. And then you decide where you want the story to go. You can say, I'm going to create, more of the story myself here. And then at some point you can say, and what do you think should happen next to the AI? And the AI will help you. And, the way Hillary described it in our interview was that, you can bring your creativity to the party, being a super fan of one of these franchises, and then create your own fan fiction, your own story. But then the AI will help you, but it will also push back at you at some point, and say, how can you do that better, right? And then you as the creator can start, either revising, or you can go a different direction, or you can just say, you finish the story for me, right? And so you get a story or a social role-playing game out of this.
Pretty cool. Yeah, and Hillary
Yeah.
is
I think it's
brilliant. She was on a panel at GamesBeat that I moderated earlier this year, and just absolutely brilliant. So definitely check out their work.
I was in that room. Yeah, it's it's really fascinating because I used to write a lot, and then learned very quickly at Universal when I tried writing a screenplay that I was not good enough at it. And then worked in some film and TV with a producer who ripped my stuff apart so badly it was very, very painful. But he used to have screenwriters leave his office in tears. So that was. But one thing I always found is writing a screenplay is a very lonely thing, and not having someone to write against is very difficult. And my neighbor in Hollywood was actually a screenwriter, and he had a partner, and they wrote a few successful TV and movie shows. And so I went and talked to him one day. I'm like, I've got this problem. And he's like, how do you solve this stuff? And he's like, well, I've got a writing partner. And so, we sit down together, and if I can't solve it, I give it to him, and vice versa. And so what I found with ChatGTP when I'm writing is I use it like that. I'm like, okay, I'm in this scenario and I want to find the solution. Can you give me some ideas? And so it's not writing the work for me, but it's giving me that writing partner that I never had. And it's absolutely brilliant. I love that idea. I mean, Hillary goes, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mr. Darcy Gets Busy is I'm going to write that. I'll go and do that.
You heard it here
It'll be
first.
published on Amazon next year.
Or tomorrow, depending on what AI you use.
AI, just finish it.
Fantastic. And that, you heard it right here. That's exactly what's going to happen. Hey, I know that we're coming up to, I can't believe we're already at, we got 10 minutes before the end of the hour here. This has been crazily fast. Mark, you had mentioned something earlier and wanted to give you some time to talk to all of us today and tell us what's going on with you.
Promote a conversation too. Yeah, so I haven't been, maybe I've missed 2 of these in a row. I forget how many. My mom was having some health issues and passed away on Wednesday. I'm still a little crunchy about it today. She was a big part of my life and supported me in all the games-related things I did. My parents brought me a Sears Telegames Pong back in the day, or it might have been an offshoot brand that was cheaper. I forget. Picked me up at school, and I stayed too late doing the TRS-80. I never really understood what I was doing, I think, for President Obama. And she was more MAGA than I was by a factor of 150. And that's okay. She's family. But what I'm thinking about this morning is, like, one of the very few things she wanted when she moved into this skilled nursing facility to do some rehab after the first set of ER appointments was her DS. And she had 3 of them. She had a regular DS, she had a DS XL, and she had a DSi XL. And so one of the very last things I did for her was order a new battery off of iFixit and go and replace her DSi XL battery so she could play Wordjong, a game that she had bought in 2011 and loved and has played for 14 years. She had Woodoku on mobile too, and she loved that. And those were mostly the two games that she played. But it made me think and reflect a lot about games for the elderly. And we've talked about 50 plus gamers. AARP has done some good work. There are a few really good presentations on that. But I'm sitting here thinking today, and this is kind of where I went, as we were going through this arc with my mom over the course of about a month, was like, how do I improve her experience? Like, we don't know where this is headed at the time. Like, are there games that would be useful for her? Are there things like VR experiences in other places that would be helpful for her? And we know people have done that kind of research. We played music, we did all sorts of things. And it's really hard to find information in this space, especially for people who, she was 80, for people 75 plus who are thinking about their end years of life. Like, where do you go? What, like, I got 20 years until I'm there. And I'm like, I would like there to be better resources, more ideas. And I would like that to be the case for other people as well. So I'm kind of just ruminating on this, like being thankful for my mom and the experience we had. And I love that she played that one game for so many, many years.
Didn't Black Mirror do a VR thing with?
Oh, I bet they did.
Where you basically can go back and live your younger years.
Right.
But
there's
there's also some data from the ESA that says that 36% of people who are ages 80 to 90 now they play video games, and that's pretty impressive.
And that number's only going to increase over time as we start moving, right? As we all move into that phase of life, we collectively being the first generation that grew up adopting video games as a normal form of entertainment and all these things. So when we hit there, this will become so much more important as well. But what I do love,
there's different purposes to the games, right? The purposes are like, fighting loneliness, right? Helping keep your mind sharp, just otherwise introducing you to other people, so, I think elderly people, they have all these different needs, and games can, they're just sort of magical that way. They can work for anybody.
I don't think my dad would have made it through COVID as well as he did without bridge. I mean, he plays bridge. He was playing bridge 3 nights a week. They've got the online screen. They've got all the players. They can see each other. You can talk to each other. You've got conversations going. I'm very sorry about your mum, Mark.
Very sorry. We
my
love you.
My mum passed. My mum passed about 14, 15 years ago now, and she was the math teacher who brought me a Commodore PET home.
That's great.
From school, because she was the math teacher. So they said, "Hey, you've got to teach computer studies to people."
Learn this.
That's
great.
That's where the Commodore PET came from. Was where the BBC came from.
And she was like, and if I can teach Richard how to use this, then I can teach anybody then. Right?
That's the other way around.
Well, Mark, I mean, what I love is it's not just the game, right? It's the feeling she had when she played it. It's memories that are tied up right in those things.
Absolutely.
And the fact that you were able to help reconstitute that and bring her some peace and closure right at the end is truly lovely. And as I said, we love you, and our, sincerest condolences out to you and your family at this time.
I see Dean has a picture of his mom behind him. I'm really appreciating right now.
Yeah, she passed as well just a couple of years ago here. And I think, I do appreciate the game companies that do think hard about this, like how do we address this market, but also solve different problems that, we haven't thought about before. Like, I gave my mom an iPhone, right? And I figured, this is going to be so easy to use, right? But she could not figure out how to use an iPhone, right? And I'm going like, wow,
right.
there's a level of
My
technology design. Technology design
finally got
is
him
really
one.
hard,
I know it's it's a divisive topic, but I still love going back and watching Big Bang Theory just because each archetype there is just so ridiculous and cartoonish. But I do remember one episode where Howard is talking to his mother and he's like, Mom, just get on the computer. And she's like, I'm not touching that thing. I don't want to get a computer virus. And he's like, you can't get a virus from that. She's like, what? You're a doctor now too? It's like we've all had those conversations, right, with our parents at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, it's UI and UX is the biggest thing. I mean, Balatro, I even struggle to play on this sometimes because it's so small. I was going to say to Mark, did your mom play Balatro? But you have to have pretty damn good eyesight to play.
Yeah,
Man, you're making a great case for
an interface thing. I mean, we're talking about the mobile devices and all. She loved the DSi XL because it was bigger for her hands,
right?
And it had physical buttons. You know, she loved that.
Yes, which physical buttons are the preferred way to go. So, Yin Chen said in the chat, our kids will be ordering iFixit replacement batteries for our Quest 3s. So yeah, pretty much.
Right. Yeah. Let's think about what it is that our kids are going to make fun of us about in another 20 years.
That's right. Well, 20 years. What are you talking about? My 3 kids are on it right now.
I love it.
Well, look, I know we're bouncing up here to the end. We should mention, so again, Mark, thank you for sharing that with us. And whatever you need, we're here for you and your family, of course. Next week, it's going to be a travel week for a lot of people that we know, heading out to Gamescom and DevCom. You got 4 days before that hits. Something that I should mention is one of the... a friend of ours and somebody who's here in the chat, John Goodale, is actually going to be giving a talk at DevCom at the Leadership Summit. He's one of 4 panelists on a Future Markets and Trends session. So definitely check that out. And then Community Clubhouse will be there as well.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and they have also arranged for discount tickets as well. So you can go to the Community Clubhouse Gamescom site, which we have up here, and we'll pop into the chat.
Community management related topics.
Yeah, community management. And then also just for, indies, like how to go ahead and get started and things to consider. I had the good fortune of running a panel with them at GDC, and I'm working with their advisory group now as well. And just a fantastic group of really passionate developers and leaders and advisors that just want to help, the games community continue to grow and be healthy. So definitely go ahead and check those out. We also have another meeting coming up, Dean. Isn't that right? We've got the Games Industry Leaders Converge in Seattle for an evening of ideas.
Engage. Yeah.
That should be fun. 150 people or so coming to see 3 panels. One of them will be a fireside chat with Ed Fries.
That guy.
We love Ed Fries. Speaking of PC people who know what they're doing.
Right.
Yeah,
We've got the Slice conference too.
Just ahead of PAX.
Yeah. And as Mark was saying, we also have the Slice conference that's happening.
It's on the 27th, the day before ours. Yeah.
So awesome. I'm thinking hopefully I'm going to be able to get out to Seattle to attend both. So
there's a mix event party on the Friday the 29th as well.
Awesome. I wasn't announcing this. I was just warning you that I may be out there.
I got a spare room, buddy. You let me know.
Oh, yeah. And Larry Herb and I, who started this new podcast, which the latest episode dropped today at 9 a.m. Eastern, called Professional Doppelgamers. We were talking about getting together and doing a live stream from up there as well. So a lot to come, a lot to come. But I know, again, we're at time here, but I wanted to make sure that we had a chance to talk about what we've been playing. So, Richard, give us some recommendations for what you're playing and for.
I have to head to a call, so I gotta cut out.
Mr. Takahashi has to leave. Dean, lovely to see you, and we'll talk next week. All right.
All right. Thanks.
Have a good week.
All right.
I'm honestly still trying to finish Blueprints.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Over and over and over again. Well, I just finished Indiana Jones. What else have I been playing? Donkey Kong.
Oh, yeah.
Donkey Kong Bonanza has been taking most of my time, and I'm very up and down about whether it's a game of the year or it's not quite that.
I tell you, man, that game,
it's
damn
great. It's amazing.
The fact that you can break everything has me going, oh, wait, there's this one little chunk of the geometry that didn't break. And so I need to break it. And that is completely like shunting my ability to get through levels.
Shades of
Kills me as a completionist. It kills me.
Yeah.
I mean, and then somebody told me, well, you got to go and get the sonar thing,
Right.
and upgrade your sonar so that you can see where all the chests and all the things are. And I'm like, okay, so you kind of have to play through it and then go back. And I don't like that. So I like Astrobots. Like if I get 2 stars or whatever, I get to the end, and I'll come back and start it again. To make sure I get the
or you know that you missed something, you missed a collectible or something like that. So now you go to explore the level.
I'll do it.
Hey, Richard, Chris, one of the things I did while I was traveling back and forth to see my mom was listen to some of our podcasts, audio only. And one of my takeaways was we never really talk about if somebody has enjoyed listening to our guests, where they can find more information about them. So, Richard, do you have a article or a site, or where should people go to learn about you more?
For me?
Yes.
No, just go to my LinkedIn. Go to my LinkedIn and you can find the Blue Moon Production Company has a LinkedIn for itself, which I post things to every week or 2 weeks, and just sort of everything that's wrong with the industry and what we need to fix, and ideas of how we should do things, and so I try and stick on there. That's where professionals tend to be. So
yeah.
That's me, but thank you for that opportunity.
Yeah. Oh, no, are you kidding? Thank you. And I should be, and this is the part where, Mark, you're exactly right. We bring people on, we talk about all this stuff, and then the rest of Friday afternoon takes over, and I'm like, we'll go back and fix that in post, and I never wind up putting that stuff up. So I need to be more diligent about doing that as well.
We got it.
Getting that
You've been
out
doing
there.
a lot. We appreciate you.
Oh, come on. I'm just.
Yeah, we do. You're awesome. And this show has always been awesome. So I'm really very honored to have been part of it. And I'm sorry that I didn't let you do your co-pilot piece.
There's no apologies needed.
It's not because I hate Game Pass.
Of course. Now what is he going to do? He's going to drop that hot take right at the top of the. Oh, I'm sorry, we're out of time to talk about that.
Sorry, no more Microsoft sponsorship.
Oh, there we go. If anybody's listening,
he's not coming on again.
So, all right. So, are you kidding me? We're going to have to figure out regular rotation schedules with some of our guests that. Somebody, Yin Chen said, white noise static is such a skewmorphic choice. Yes, yes,
absolutely. Wanting to touch it with my hand.
Yeah, didn't you notice the please stand by, color bars right at the top here too? With regard to games I've been playing just basically the same stuff for the past couple of weeks, just not a lot of time. But something I did want to mention to people is the Electronic Gaming Monthly Compendium is ending its late pledges today. This thing is freaking awesome. And as somebody who works in game preservation and game history and stuff like that, one of the coolest things that you get along with the compendium is access to the entire digital archive, which is currently up for people that have backed it. So you can go in and see, and all just incredibly high resolution scans and everything else of their entire back catalog. So if you love Electronic Gaming Monthly, my goodness, I've got stacks of them in the back of the office here.
That's
Definitely
awesome.
Go ahead and check it out.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah. And they're basically taking out like the best pieces of the different episodes, and they're bound in a hard covered book. Just really amazing. And so many of our friends in there, right? Steve Harris, Shu, Crispin Boyer, James Milkey, Sam Kennedy. I mean, it's just, all these people that are leaning into contributing to this project. So it's not a game recommendation. It's a history recommendation. Definitely go ahead and check that out on Kickstarter.
And I will pimp as I'm here. Edition 64K have the Signosis Tome 1 book out, and it's wonderful.
I
if
saw
you're
the
a fan of
picture.
Signosis, it's so.
Richard, we're going to have you on Game Industry Legends to talk about Signosis. So, all right. So
I would love to.
Perfect. You heard him commit.
30 years later, or 32 years later, it's still my favorite part of my career.
Well, you heard him commit. So that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this episode of Boss Rush. I want to thank Dean and Richard for being here today. And Mark, thank you as always. And once again, our condolences to you and your family. And but that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this week. thanks everybody for spending some of your Friday with us. Make sure that you check out some of the archives. We've got a page up on LinkedIn. We have a page up on YouTube. Go ahead and share this back out to your friends, to your socials. We get more and more people joining in this conversation that just kind of celebrates video games and game industry news because we love it and because we're nerds. All right. Yeah, that's what we have to say, right? Yeah.
Awesome. Nerds.
Oh, nerds. All right, gang. Everybody, you have a great rest of your day and an awesome weekend, and we'll see you next week on Boss Rush. Bye.